I'm Carter with Craft Customs, and today we're going to be talking about the standards that Craft Customs puts into our work for custom steering wheels, restoration of steering wheels, reupholstering of steering wheels, all of the different things that we do. But today I'm going to focus on the leather steering wheels primarily, and we get in steering wheels in two different shapes. One of them is just completely worn out, like this one here. This is an old Ford F-150 steering wheel, completely worn out. You see the top coat is all completely worn off of it, and the leather has turned around backwards, and so this wheel is in dire need of a new facelift, if you will. And then another one that came in, which we get in on somewhat of a regular basis, is a steering wheel that another company has tried to do. And I want to show you briefly, I'm going to get this up closer to the camera, where you can see kind of the situation here that we've got. It's pretty obvious the problems with it. Even on the back side, it's just totally curtained. The leather work was very under par, and it did not fit at all on the steering wheel. I won't even go into the stitches, but the stitches have got lots of issues also. And I do understand this because we have a lot of upholstery companies that we do work for. Of our customer base, about 30% of the companies that we work for are upholstery and trim companies. And why do those people come to Craft Customs? It's because for 26 years we've been in business and we've been producing a high quality product that is OEM factory quality, the original equipment, car manufacturer's equipment level of quality is what we strive for. And we've even made our goal a little more lofty than that. We actually do our best to strive for a Mercedes-Benz quality on all of the type work that we do. And we have a lot of upholstery companies who will call us up and go, I need to send a steering wheel in, can y'all do it? And we say yes. They say, I tried to do it and it's just a mess, I'll never do one again. And we do understand, but what does it take to do a steering wheel? A standard steering wheel is about a 5 to 7 hour process. A more difficult steering wheel is a 7 to 10 hour process. I'm talking about just the leather work on a steering wheel. And that's us who know how to do it, who've been doing it for so many years. So when a company gets a steering wheel and they don't know what to do with it, they're going to struggle with it for days. It literally takes days of doing it and redoing it and doing it and redoing it. And then they either, just give it back to the customer, which we've had a lot of customers send wheels to us in that condition and go, I don't want to do it, halfway put together, or they try to finish it, and this customer actually got billed for the steering wheel, and they sent it to them in this condition. So we'll strive for the OEM quality every time on every order that we turn out here at Craft Customs. So a lot of customers call us and ask, what is my steering wheel going to look like when it's done by Craft Customs? And here's one example of an order that we just finished and are fixing to ship out. And another example, this is a wood and leather steering wheel that we've done. This steering wheel came in just a leather steering wheel. We added the wood grain sections to it and then refinished the leather also. I want to show you kind of briefly the kind of quality that we strive for. You see how nicely fit the leather is, completely fitting just like it would have been done from the factory, and no wrinkles, as well as the stitching. Our stitching is, we do 5 or 6 different types of stitching to do it the way the factory did it, and these are done with what we call a Euro basting stitch. This is a little bit older Porsche steering wheel, but all of our work is done to factory OEM quality, from the stitching to the fit of the pattern. This is a Mercedes-Benz here. As you can see, the wood grain is made to fit. It's made to match the interior for one thing, but the fit of the tuck grooves for the leather are all done where they match the leather and line up, and then the leather is done back to the factory OEM quality level. That's what you're going to receive from Craft Customs when you get your leather or a wood grain and leather steering wheel back. It's going to be something that you're going to love. That's our guarantee to you. So who calls us and why are we in business? We're in business because steering wheels wear out, or because somebody wants wood grain added to their steering wheel and it wasn't available when they bought the vehicle, or the sun has done damage to their steering wheel and cracked the wood or cracked up the leather, or it's just degraded over the years. All those different scenarios are what we're in business for and what we do. Most customers, by the time they find us, have already called their local dealership and tried to get pricing. And they will find that if the dealership carries it, say a Lexus or a Mercedes or a Porsche or BMW, the cost through a dealership for those steering wheels is up to $2,000 for a leather steering wheel only, sometimes more. The wood and leather steering wheels are from a dealership, you'll be looking at in the $3,000 range for some of the luxury vehicles. And we do those for a fraction of the cost. Also on the leather steering wheels, the factories only produce stock on steering wheels for about 8 years usually, give or take a little bit, and then they don't have them anymore. So it's not even an option when a 9 or 10-year-old steering wheel wears out and needs to be replaced to go to a dealership, because they won't even have them. And so a lot of people will go out on eBay and buy one, and it looks good in the pictures, and then they get it and they realize that it's in about the condition that theirs was. Maybe just some trick photography had been done on it or something to make it look a little bit better. And so those end up getting sent to us also. So what does it take to make a leather steering wheel? Some people, by the time they've gotten those prices, they call us and then they go, wow, your price is great, because we do it for just a few $100s. And so, but there's some people who didn't get prices from dealerships and might have a domestic vehicle, and where, when they were making the steering wheels, they could have bought one for, say, $400 or something like that, and our price is less than that. However, and it varies from what needs to be done to the steering wheel, whether it has leather and rubber padding underneath the leather, different things like that. But to explain a little bit of how we price, our price is based on the time and materials that it takes to produce a steering wheel, and a lot of people don't understand that, so I just want to hit on that real briefly. A leather steering wheel takes 5 to 7 hours to produce for a standard leather steering wheel. For a complicated leather steering wheel, it'll take 7 to 10 hours to produce. And the parts that go into that, it takes about an hour to strip the old leather off, strip the old rubber off that's underneath that leather, which is a job in and of itself, and then clean the steering wheel up real well, take all the parts off, the buttons and the back covers and the blinkers and whatever else someone might have sent in on the steering wheel, take all that off, get it cleaned up and ready to cover. Takes about an hour. It takes about 2 hours to make a leather steering wheel cover. Give or take a little bit. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4, sometimes it takes an hour and a half. But we actually have to take all the dimensions and measurements, create a pattern that's shaped and fit exactly like this, so it fits that tight. Then make the cover, get it put together, QC it, make sure there's no flaws in the leather or anything, because leather is a natural product and sometimes has scars in it, so we work around all those issues. And then it takes 1 to 3 hours to sew a steering wheel, because these are all hand sewn. Every steering wheel in the world is hand sewn. So so that takes time. We do all of our work right here in the United States, right here in our facilities. Large OEM companies have their work done in Mexico or China. We don't do that. We do our work here, and we do it ourselves because we want to maintain the quality and craftsmanship that we put into every single steering wheel that we make. And then after it is sewn, it gets QC'd. That's quality control checked. We go over all the stitches. We go over the fitment of the leather. We do any adjustments that are needed to make sure that you don't have wrinkles and bagging or any of those effects on the steering wheels that you're going to receive from Craft Customs. And then we pack it up carefully so that it doesn't get damaged at all during shipment, which takes about an hour to do that last step. You add all those together, it's 5 to 7 hours. If it was a more difficult steering wheel, like this Porsche that has the Euro basting stitch on it, that stitch by itself takes a minimum of 2 to 3 hours to make and sew. So that adds to the price. We do the Euro basting stitch. We do an X stitch, which you see on Porsches also. We do the tricolor BMW stitches. We do Ferrari stitching. We do baseball stitching. So any of the stitch patterns that you ever would see on a steering wheel, we do, but they take different times. So we have to charge accordingly. So to kind of wrap that up, our steering wheels are our prices are based on labor of 5 to 7 hours or 7 to 10 hours, depending on what the steering wheel goes on and how it was done from the factory, or how somebody wants it done, and plus the materials. That doesn't include the materials of the leathers and the rubbers and the glues and that type of thing, the stitching. So all those go into make up our price, but our prices we base on actual costs, not on just some figment, that we pull out of the air, some number. What you're going to get from Craft Customs, our guarantee to you is what you get back, you're going to love. And we've been doing it for 26 years. We love what we do. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call at our phone number on the website, or go visit craftcustoms.com.